we're getting used to meeting with Highlanders because last week Christopher Lambert was here. Did you meet him?
I know Christoph. Actually, I spoke to him because we had a party at Ocean Bar and Grill to promote the event. And I said to him, "Oh, come, you need to come." He said, "I just left." So, I keep missing Christoph. Sometimes we bump into each other, and other times we miss.
Do you have favorite actors who give you inspiration?
There are, actors like De Niro and Pacino, which are the obvious ones. I always loved, Sean Connery was always a favorite of mine as a kid. There are, actors that do theatre to me and have a solid base. There's some really good actors that are not movie stars, or that are smaller movie stars. I always liked Brian Dennehy because I felt he was really real when I watched him on stage and I enjoyed him. I would say those were the ones that influenced me, if anything. If anybody influenced me, I remember watching one film I remember watching when I was young. It was Spartacus, and Kirk Douglas. And when I was young, I was a young boy. I remember saying, because I used to watch the westerns, I remember he used to have like a cleft chin, and an Adam's apple, and I said, I want a cleft chin and an Adam's apple when I'm older. And I got the Adam's apple, but I didn't get the cleft chin.
We'll do it for you with a knife if you want.
Well, now you've got Photoshop, you can actually put it in.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the Highlander. If you walk in the streets of Budapest, for example, I'm completely sure that people will say, look, there's the Highlander, there's the Highlander. So how does it feel for you? Is it embarrassing, or are you proud of that?
Well, I'm proud of having done the series, because I think the series was a good series. I think, we did a lot of good work on that series, so I'm really proud of having done that. I think at one point, just after the series, for the first few years, I said, okay, enough Highlander, because really it's, everybody was Highlander. I was like, I need to do other work. And you get identified with one character. But now I look at it and say, well, that was part of me. That was part of what made me part of, so I'm very proud to have done that. Although now I'm doing a lot of other things. But when I'm on the street, there are some funny instances that have happened to me, and some that I like to run away from. When Highlander was very big in the third or fourth seasons, I was in the Vatican in Rome, and I had girls screaming in the Vatican, this whole group of girls, and they looked at me like it was my fault. The people that were going, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm just standing here. And I'd have people running down the street, and mobs of people running down the street. Now people just look at me and go, he looks familiar. I think I think it is. And I know Highlander in several different languages. In English you call it the Highlander. In Spanish it's Los Inmortales. In Hungarian it's Hedlako.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's different. I keep hearing, and the funny thing is I speak several languages. So when people speak in their own language, they don't know I can understand them, and that's the funniest part.